Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to today's episode where we are going to talk about parents getting locked up in cells at the Korean happiness factory. This shit is insane, so let's just delve right to it so we see what this is about. So, we're talking about a social experiment of sorts that according to the BBC and other sources I found. Don't ask don't ask me how I get information of this stuff. It just randomly pops up in my Edge home screen, which I never changed because I think I'm an idiot or something like that. But it randomly pops out the craziest stories ever. So let's go through this article. So the main idea is that no phone or laptops are allowed in these cells. A store cupboard. They only have walls for company, so and they may wear blue prison uniforms. Okay, so basically they are okay. And most people here have a child who has fully withdrawn for society, which means like hikikomori. Does South Korea have? So that does South Korea has have these sort of problems of hikikomoris, or do they call them differently or something like that? Basically, if you don't know, hikikomori is a person who has withdrawn basically from society and from all societal norms. He doesn't interact with other people. Can interact online, so that's definitely a stance. But it's strange. It's a very strange and dangerous position to find yourself into because it leads to anxiety issues, depression most of the times, and suicidal thoughts. And that's kind of very heavy and super unhealthy for a regular person that can, um, what you call it, that can resort to some extreme measures as a result of this self-induced isolation. Usually, hikikomoris are just isolated from the rest of society, playing video games, watching online content most of the times. I think there are other genres of or subgenres of hikikomori, but you get the gist. Basically, they are withdrawn from society, like hermits. But even hermits used to have some sort of interaction. Hikikomoris don't. Okay, so from the get-go, this looks pretty strange. I think it's mainly due to the fact that the parents want to understand how, and this is certainly garnered towards parents that have children in this situation. I don't think anyone would just agree with that if they didn't have a child, basically in that situation. So, let's keep forward, read more about this shit because it seems to be super intriguing, at least for me. So, going to solitary confinement cell. So, reclusive young people like these residents are referred to as hikikomori, yeah, a term coined in Japan. Again, I didn't know that South Korea had this issue. More than 5% of respondents, a survey of 15,000 young people, basically. I mean, at 34, you're kind of young, approaching middle age, I think. It would mean about, so if this would be to be applied to the whole, so 15,000 is just a sample. So if these results would be applied to the wider population of South Korea, it would mean about 500,000 roughly could be in that situation. Okay, what's the population in South Korea then? South Korea. Um, South Korea. Korea. Korea is a peninsular region. Yeah, but I want to see. I've searched for South Korea. South Korea. South Korean. Yep, that's the thing. population is about fucking shit. Actually, I know most of these historical facts. Maybe I'll do a history shit once. Where do I see the population? Okay, so 52 million. So half a million would actually mean people around that age. Okay, so it's a fair assessment, I guess. Um, Parents have been participating. It's a 13-week parental education program funded and run by an NGO, the Korea Youth Foundation, and the Blue Whale Recovery Center. Okay, Blue Whale actually, it's a kids game in Romania that's very violent. So it's funny to see that shit. The aim of is to teach people how to. Of course, there's nothing funny with this situation and this overarching theme of the article, but I know, just a joke there. The aim of this scheme is to teach people how to communicate better with their children. Okay, actually, let's just finish this section. Includes 3 days in a facility, so only 3 days. I won't pronounce Hongcheon-gun, Gangwon province, where participants spend time in a room that replicates a solitary confinement cell. Okay, the hope is isolation will offer parents a deeper understanding of their children. Okay, I think I kind of understand what that what they mean by that. So what I wanted to touch on was I have to remember what I wanted to touch on. Sorry, I'm just stupid. Yeah, this situation is super horrible, and the the courses and the whole activity basically of this NGO is actually super good. We could benefit from that here in Romania actually. Um, in certain countries, there's this disparity between parents and children because of different, I guess, generational patterns and values. And sometimes parents and children might feel disconnected. That's why, as a parent myself, I try to be as much in touch with the what you call it, youth values here and the new generation's values and what they're standing for and the general direction they're going towards. So yeah, it's imperative that we stay up to date with everything that our children will come into contact with. That's why this disparity will be minimized. Of course, there still will be a disparity, right, and a disconnection. But it's our job, and it's everyone's job as parents, supervisors, and general people to try and mitigate that shit as much as possible. But this whole situation is what I'm talking about here is more general and another thing altogether. Maybe I'll touch a little bit on the parenting topic in a future video, perhaps next week or at the end of this week. Why not? It sounds super interesting to touch upon. But basically, this situation is very extreme. It's very extreme compared to what I'm talking about because here we have basically children, um, young people who have isolated themselves, and there's really no easy way to see or understand how they're actually feeling. And that's why I think this endeavor is actually unique and kind of interesting. You can uh, abs- abstra- abstractize um, that emotional isolation that these children, these hikikomori children, might feel and transpose that into a physical isolation. Because I think the feelings that you get by being completely isolated from society physically might equate, in a sense, maybe broad, maybe not so broad, but in a sense, to how they're actually feeling every single fucking day. And a 3 day going through that for 3 days should give parents actually a better understanding of how their children might be affected or might think or might respond to certain things. So I think it's a very good endeavor. I think it's a very good idea. We'll see if it works for them. I don't think we have results yet or anything like that, but hopefully it will make parents it will help parents in helping their children, if that makes sense, because everybody needs a little bit of help in that regard. Let's move forward. Emotional prison. Jin Young Hae's son has been isolating himself in his bedroom for 3 years now. Fucking insane. It's horrible to go through that, both as a hikikomori, but also as a closed one. But since spending time in confinement, understand emotional prison. Yeah, I think this term here explains everything. You transform this emotional prison into a physical one because there are similarities there. Of course, it's not 100% the same, but at least it's the same idea. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I've been wondering what I did wrong. You did nothing wrong, ma'am. You did nothing wrong. It's just society. Society is wrong in that regard. I gained some clarity. Her son and Shane's father had high expectations, but he was often ill, struggled to maintain friendships, an eating disorder. Oh shit. Yeah. He seemed to be doing well for a term, but one day he totally withdrew. Something happened, surely. Seeing him neglecting personal hygiene and meals broke her heart. Disappointment may have affected her son. He's reluctant to talk. Okay. Yeah, that's the story of so many young people nowadays. Reading those notes made me realize he's protecting himself with silence because yeah, I think that's that thing because it's a self-inflicted isolation. It's not a imposed isolation, right? So you choose that, and why would you choose isolation? You would want to isolate yourself from the society that harms you in a way, or does things to you that you perceive as harmful for you. After running away, he now rarely leaves his room. He refused to take the medication he was prescribed. That's the thing. Doctors usually prescribe medication instead of something that could actually benefit benefit these young people. Medication is very rarely very rarely successful in these cases. He became obsessed with playing video games. Yes, escapism. That's what this is about. It's escapism. He escapes this unfair, horrible world. Start to better understand his feelings to the isolation. It's more to accept variety of factors driving young people to cut themselves off. Difficulties finding a job, issues with interpersonal relationships, family problems. So these are the most common reasons for isolation. Yeah, I mean those are in line with societal issues. I feel like, and the need to protect oneself. And some of the highest. Okay, I didn't know that South Korea has. Okay, I knew about Japan that it was a huge issue, but not about Korea. Holy fuck. Ministers announced there would be a state-funded mental health checkups. Okay, that's actually very good, and more states could, especially mine, could benefit from that. In Japan, in the 99s, yeah, in the 90s, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also very explored into animes to a certain extent. Mostly it's comedic tones, but usually there's also some dramas. I'm a weebo, aren't I? Question is, come some older people to fall into poverty and depression. Yes, because seeing your child go through that would actually break you both mentally and financially, of course, because you'd have to provide for them continuously. So Professor Jung Gu Won says Korean society expectations that big life milestones should be reached at set times amplifies. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's society's expectations. It's a societal problem. There's nothing wrong with that, with these young people. It's actually society that's wrong in a sense. Our parental success contributes to the entire family sinking into the quagmire of isolation. Yeah, I think in societies like Eastern Asian societies, everything that happens to the children is reflected upon upon parents. That's sort of unfair, but I think we get the idea of the article. I'll be watching you. Okay. The parents who have come to pass are still eagerly awaiting the day their children can resume a normal life. Yeah. You've been through so much, she says. Yeah, that's the thing. It's on one hand heartbreaking to see that and to learn that these things happen basically on a regular basis. And I think when you actually try to put yourself in their position, it's even harder in a way and even sadder. You cannot understand that. I mean, I cannot understand. I cannot fully understand this phenomenon. It doesn't work for me. Maybe because our society is maybe not as strict as theirs. I think that's the biggest difference. Their society is not as strict as theirs. So there's not really these huge expectations weighed upon us at every point of our life and pressure on parents for us to succeed as children. I won't be exerting any pressure on my son, for example. If he succeeds, he succeeds. If he doesn't, then okay, fine. You're not succeeding. That's totally fine. That's totally normal. No, success is not measured in popularity or money. It's feeling happy with yourself, and I guess feeling happy um, with what you currently have. And yeah, I think there's a lot of issues affecting these young people, societal, maybe a lack of friendships or meaningful friendships, right? Because society doesn't really prepare you for, even though society is based on interpersonal relationships. More recently, it actually doesn't prepare you or sort of teaches you how to connect with other people, and this lack of connections can only determine negative thoughts and basically drift you away in certain directions that are dark, dark and cold in a sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the way I react to serious stuff like that. It's fucking atrocious. I hope I hope more countries will learn something from what South Korea is doing and institute um, state funded programs to help with the mental health of the youth because most older people don't understand the fuss about mental health, but it's important, especially in today's society where everything is public, everything is searchable online, everything is viewable in a way, and you see all these people having so much success, be it financial, popularity wise, and success in general, and you start to feel disenchanted and maybe angry at the world in a way because you cannot or you have not yet reached that milestone that society puts out for you. So you're seeing all these people that are considered relevant in every field, and you feel like you have to be there because you see them all around, you see them promoted, you see them promoted as paragons, as models to aspire to. So you need to be there. You need to reach that. But not everyone can reach that, and nobody says it's okay not to reach that level. Nobody says it's okay to just be happy. That's the most important stuff. Thing in the world. Be happy about yourself. Be happy with your life. If you don't have friends, connect with people through any means. It can be online, it can be offline. Try and meet new people face to face. It's much better than online interactions, though some online interactions are super amazing and super meaningful, more meaningful than physical ones in many regards. So I think that's one thing to take away from here. Be happy with your life. Try and help everyone around you with the smallest issues. A small issue for you might mean a big issue for them, and it could trigger something that extreme as them turning to this hikikomori, not lifestyle, but condition. It's more akin to a mental condition. This mental isolation, trying to protect yourself from external factors such as society putting pressure on you, parents putting pressure on you, other people putting pressure, constant pressure on you, and you need to find a way to protect yourself. And because we are humans and we are animals at the core, so this survival instinct kicks in, and you actually need to be sort of protecting your survival. And when you're desperate, your first instinct would be, I'm withdrawing. This being a society brings me harm. I'm leaving it. If there's no society to harm, if there's no society in my life, then there's no harm done. Easy peasy, but it isn't really. It leads to severe mental health issues and possibly some dark and obscure tendencies that I would not expand upon. But either way, just be good to other people. Just try and help here and there when you can, wherever you can. Try and reach out to people like this, or people that you may find are isolating them, starting to isolate themselves, and try to be their saving grace, their helping hand, or whatever you want to call yourselves. But just be there for them. That's the most important stuff. And most governments should look into that and institute wide wide programs for mental health. It's imperative that people are guided in a direction that's not harmful to them. So yeah, that was everything for this topic, a more serious one. But I hope you enjoyed my content. And if you like this, just drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and be prepared to comment. What do you think on this topic, and what do you want me to cover next? So yeah, love you guys. You are amazing human beings, and I love you all to death.